I was so wrong about painting until I learned this. There's no need to match the exact color for each part of the painting. For so long, I was obsessed with tools and strategies that could help me match colors exactly on my palette. In my head, I was picturing a color picking tool like the one in Photoshop, and I wanted to do the same with paint. I wanted to identify a color on my model, match it perfectly with paint on my palette, and then just put the right color at the right place. But I was wrong. Painting with colors is not a paint by number game, and what you need to become a good painter is the ability to navigate the color space. The problem is that my old strategy was static and tedious. What I really needed was a way to easily move from one color to the next, and that's what I call navigating the color wheel.
It's a good idea to start with complementary colors. Mixing colors with complementary pigments is a fundamental aspect of color theory and can be a powerful tool for artists. Complementary colors are pairs of colors that are located directly opposite each other on the color wheel, and when mixed together, they create a neutral or a grayish color, and this is something that can be used even in skin tones in some situations. It can be very powerful. Here's an excerpt from a recent stream in which I talked about this, and in particular the notion of complementary pairs. By the way, if you want to join a live stream, make sure to subscribe and hit the little bell to receive a notification when I go live. So here it is.
So when you have something that's too much on the red side, if you mix it with a cyan, so on the other side of the wheel you have a cyan, it's going to pull the mix more and more towards the gray side. So maybe you'll end up with something like that or like that. When you have something that's too much on the orange side, if you pull it towards the blue side, you'll pull it more towards gray, and theoretically you'll have a gray. The only problem is that mixtures are never a straight line, and actually this color wheel is an idealized version of how colors actually mix and how they actually appear in our eyes. We don't have an ideal circle, and our vision doesn't work with ideal circles. Actually, when you mix, it's probably going to be more like that, right? When you mix orange and blue, it's probably going to look kind of greenish, like a dull green, something like that. So how do you neglect this effect? Well, what's on the other side of the green? It's actually magenta. So you want some type of magenta, and this is going to pull this more towards the green side. That makes sense? Good. Hope it does. Just remember that cyan kills red, blue kills orange, and green kills magenta. That's just what you need to remember.
Now let's take an example of how to practically navigate the color space. Let's take this skin tone. At the moment it looks very bland and boring, kind of grayish, and not very lifelike. No worries at all, let's fix this and try to bring more of this peach-like quality that makes the skin tones look good. To get to this point, this mix was done with just titanium white, yellow ochre, transparent red oxide, and burnt umber. Now, keep in mind that under certain light conditions, this color can work, for example, to create a shadow color. Not all skin colors have to be peach-like and vibrant, and sometimes shadow colors are very low in chroma, so in this case, this grayish tone could work in some situation and would look just fine for shadows. But let's try to bring it back to life anyhow. The idea of navigating the color wheel is that I don't need to discard a color that I'm unsatisfied with and start over again. I can adjust it based on what I need contextually during the painting. So first, if I need, I can add a small amount of yellow ochre, for example, to make it more chromatic and bring this mix more towards the yellow side of the color wheel. Yellow ochre is great for skin tones, so this should work every time. And with what I'm trying to achieve here, which is skin tones, yellow ochre really is the ideal pigment. If you think that it's too yellow or too orange, too mineral maybe, there's a way to fix that. And it's as simple as adding a small touch of an organic pigment like this quinacridone rose PV19. And doing this will pull the mix towards the magenta side of the wheel. You can do the same with alizarin crimson. It has the same function and looks very similar. Actually, I'm mostly using my quinacridone rose as a supplement to the pigment alizarin crimson, because in case you don't know, genuine alizarin is not light fast, so it's better to use a permanent pigment instead. A lot of people use what's called permanent alizarin crimson with the pigment code PR177, and it works the same way as what I'm using here. So here's what I do. I use a tiny amount of quinacridone rose, and look how it brings this mix to life. See how little I need to use and how much of a difference it makes. The main principle of color mixing for skin tones is to start with a neutral mixing base like titanium white or yellow ochre, and to use the strongest pigments in the end. The idea is to start with a relatively big quantity of the weakest pigment and use the one with the highest tinting strength in very small increments in the end. But then I can also add a small touch of a color that you wouldn't necessarily expect in skin tones, like a blue or like this cyan, for example. This paint here is cobalt teal blue PG50, one of my all-time favorite colors. And as I said earlier in this video, this works great if your mix is too red and if you want to neutralize it with a lot of subtlety. The simple rule to keep in mind is that cyan kills red, blue kills orange, and green kills magenta. And that's what this wheel shows, because when you mix two pigments that are opposite each other in the color wheel, you end up with something gray or grayish. What I recommend for skin tones is to create a simplified value scale that's going to be your main mixing pool, and you can adjust from there if needed with either yellow, cyan, blue, green, or whatever you feel like based on complementary mixtures. First, you create a nice color string from which you can take most of your colors. Like, this is where everything happens, like the main body of your palette is there. But if you think that it's too red, then you can add a touch of cyan. If you think that it's too orange, then you can add a touch of blue. Just like that, with the tip of your brush or the tip of the palette knife. If you think that it's not pink enough, then you can add a touch of quinacridone rose or alizarin. And the entire idea is to be comfortable going from one color to the other. See, it's not about getting the perfect color for every part of your painting, but about knowing how to move from one to the next. This allows you to work with trial and error. Not sure if this color will work, just try it. And if it's too red, add a touch of cyan. If it's too dull and cool, add a touch of burnt sienna, etc. Obviously, be cautious when using complementary mixtures in your paintings, as they can create a dull or a muddy appearance if you're not careful. As you saw, I'm using them very sparingly with very small increments. And obviously, as with anything, practice makes perfect. Play with various complementary color pairs to try to get a feel for the range of neutral colors that you can achieve. The more you experiment, the easier it will be for you to create vibrant and harmonious colors in your art. There would be so much more to cover with color. It's such a huge subject. But if you want to watch another video about that, simply click here. A huge thank you to everybody joining the membership on YouTube as well as Patreon. This video wouldn't be possible without the amazing support. If you want to join any of these communities, the links are all in the description. Same thing for the link to the Discord and the link to my courses, my oil painting course and my kata course. I'll see you for the next video, my friends, and until then, joy and inspiration to you.